It says we're still streaming. Everything looks good. All right. So the dash, this fun little guy here, you actually use a cup and a half of coffee to make not a lot of cold brew. So this we discovered is not the most effective way to make cold brew or if I should say efficient way to make cold brew. Now the dash itself says you can actually put up to 2 cups of coffee in there, but we discovered that the coffee grounds tend to expand and you didn't get good coverage, you didn't get very good mixing. We fill this little basket here full of coffee, little filter that goes on top. You put your filtered water on this end here. Get our lid on so it actually creates pressure. Get this to lock in place. There we go. You want to make sure it's tight, but you don't want to just crank it on there. We set our timer, and we'll set it for 10 minutes because we'll be doing a video for a minute. We'll fire it up, see how this goes. So it's actually going to pump the water out of this through the grounds, adding pressure, and then they start coming back in, and I think it even recirculates a couple of times. So we'll let this thing run, or maybe even move it out of the way. Hopefully it's not too loud here, making too much noise for you guys. But we'll let that make cold brew while we're waiting. So what I really want to talk about is what you guys can do more easily at home. This is something we purchased and ordered off of Amazon. Not always the best thing. Now, there is some actually really great cold brew devices out there if you're a really big fan of cold brew, or you want to make it easy and you want to make it effectively. So first, we have a company called Toddy that we actually use ourselves. This is actually the small toddy maker here. You use your coffee grounds up top. You have some filters, a filter paper to put the grounds in so they don't end up down in the bottom. And then you fill this up with a cold brew. There's actually a plug that goes in the bottom here. I just couldn't find it before the video started, but the plug holds the coffee up in the top. And you let that sit in your fridge, and this will actually help you make coffee. Now, for cold brew, they recommend a ratio of about 4-to-1. So 1 cup of coffee to 4 cups of water. So you do use a lot of coffee, but it makes a concentrate. If anyone's made cold brew at home before, you've probably discovered that the caffeine content in cold brew can be much higher than the caffeine content in your regular coffee. So a lot of times you dilute it. You make mixed drinks out of it. You can even add some more filtered water back to it with your ice. But the cream and the other things you might add, those will help bring that down. I've had a cup of cold brew that was almost like rocket fuel before I didn't need another cup of coffee for hours afterwards. So you let it sit in this carafe. This would go in your refrigerator. And just using cold water, ground coffee, you do want to grind it for filter coffee for the dash. For cold brew in a device like this, you go more of a coarse ground. So larger ground than you'd be used to for filter coffee, and more like French press size coffee. But again, adjusting the grind size is going to adjust your extraction, your flavor, and your caffeine content, so you can play with that to get the flavor and caffeine that you're looking for. And then when you're ready, you'd take and you'd pull your plug. They come with this beautiful little carafe here that would collect the cold brew as it comes out. Now ready, yeah, that is 12, 24, 48, 72 hours of soaking in the fridge. 12 hours is kind of the minimum requirement. Most people say you want to go at least 12 to create a pretty solid cold brew. I found 24 hours. This thing froze on me again. What is going on? All right. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't notice that it froze up again. I don't know where you lost me. I don't know what's going on with this. My USB port keeps crashing on me here, and I have to reset the camera. I apologize. I hope you didn't lose too much. Anybody who's watching in the comments, can you let me know when you lost me? Let me see here. It even says I'm having trouble watching my own live stream here. I'll get this figured out one of these days, won't I? Looks like we got a few people still watching. Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm reconnected here. All right, it tells me YouTube got disconnected, so let's start that again. Sorry, guys.